Hey everybody, number 74 in the Criterion collection is Vagabond. Same director as our last film, Agnès Varda, from France from 1985. This is it's another mainly character-focused movie instead of a plot-focused movie, but there is kind of a story. A homeless woman, girl, somewhere between the two, is found frozen to death in a ditch. The movie then becomes a chronicle of the last, like, 2, 3 months of her life. But it's done in kind of a disjointed way. The conceit is one of the women that she interacted with was fascinated with her and her life and made a point of like backtracking her steps. And so it plays as after the opening scene of her death, it plays as the normal story of her life for a couple of months. However, mostly all we see is the times where she was interacting with other people. We almost never see her by herself. And those people she's interacting with can either turn to the camera or be cut to like a documentary style where they talk about the impact meeting her had on them. And sometimes it will be during the moment, so it's a fourth wall break. Other times it's a documentary style interview. And that's fairly interesting. The character herself is pretty interesting as well because she's not a paragon, right? She's not perfect. There's a segment where she ends up on a farm and they ask her what she would like to do. And she's like, I could maybe have a potato farm one day. And they're like, great, we've got some land over there. You can use that land, start your potato farm. She never does. She just kind of sits in a trailer and smokes and drinks until they kick her out because she's not doing anything. And then another time, she gets a job trimming vineyards, and it's hard work, and her hands get injured as she's working. But eventually, she loses that job because the real workers come back from vacation, and they're like, "We don't want a woman here. Get out of here." So she's a little damned if she does, damned if she doesn't. The narrative isn't particularly strong, especially since we open at the end. We know it ends in her dying. The characters are interesting. The movie's decent. The movie, if you like a slower character study, this is a pretty good film, honestly. I enjoyed it more than I normally would because, as we stated, I have a preference for strong narratives. But I did enjoy this one quite a bit. I don't. I read up on it. It's a famous film. It's award winning. It's much acclaimed. But there's not a lot of behind the scenes information that I have to share with you about this one. So I think this is just going to be a shorter review. The colors are strangely muted, which kind of works because it's set in winter and her life is kind of muted, if we're honest. It was a good time. The next one we have is Visiting an Old Friend, not from this series, but from my life, because number 75 is Chasing Amy by Kevin Smith from the US from 1997. It's the View Askew-niverse. And I suppose if one of the View Askew movies was going to end up in the Criterion collection, this is probably the correct one. So I know this review is pretty short, but it's a good movie. Vagabond was good. I'll see you guys again for Chasing Amy.